Lila slammed the door behind her, the echo reverberating through the empty hallway like a gunshot in her chest. Her parents' words still burned in her ears. "You're not our daughter anymore. Not like this." She stood there in the pouring rain, clutching a single duffel bag, staring at the family home that was no longer hers, the deed now signed over to her brother because, as her father put it, a real woman builds a family with a man. The betrayal hit her like a freight train. For years she'd hidden her truth, burying it under layers of pretense, dating boys she couldn't stand, attending church every Sunday to pray away the feelings that refused to leave. But when she finally confessed, hoping for understanding in this so-called progressive suburb of Seattle, her world crumbled. Her mother had cried, not out of empathy but disgust, whispering about eternal damnation, while her father, stone-faced, declared the house, a symbol of their legacy, would go to her brother, the normal one. And her? She could stay in the backyard shed, the dilapidated structure they'd used for storage, as if she were nothing more than forgotten junk. Lila's mind raced as she trudged through the mud toward the shed, her soaked clothes clinging to her skin. Why did I think they'd accept me? She thought, the question looping endlessly. All those family dinners, the holidays, the shared secrets. Were they all lies? She pushed open the creaky door, the musty smell assaulting her senses. Inside, cobwebs draped the corners, and a single bare bulb flickered overhead. She dropped her bag and sank to the floor, knees drawn to her chest. The shed was barely 10 by 12 feet, with a leaky roof and no insulation against the biting Pacific Northwest chill. This was her new reality, reduced to a shadow of her former life because she loved women. But even in that moment of despair, a spark of defiance ignited. She wouldn't beg for scraps of affection from people who saw her as broken. No, she'd rebuild, prove them wrong. Yet doubt crept in. How could she, with no job security, no savings, and a heart shattered into pieces? Her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was her brother texting. "I'm sorry, sis. They made me sign it." Sorry. She seethed inwardly. "You didn't fight for me. You took it." The message fueled her anger, turning sorrow into resolve. She wiped her tears and began unpacking, arranging her few belongings on a rickety shelf. This shed would be her fortress for now. Days blurred into a monotonous grind. Lila worked double shifts at the local coffee shop, the aroma of espresso masking the scent of her unwashed clothes. Customers smiled politely, unaware of the storm raging inside her. They see a barista, not a reject, she mused during quiet moments, steaming milk with mechanical precision. But at night, back in the shed, the isolation gnawed at her. She journaled furiously, pouring out her turmoil. The guilt of disappointing her parents, the shame drilled into her by society, the fear that she'd always be alone. One evening, as rain pattered on the tin roof, Lila decided to venture out. She needed air, connection, anything to escape the echo chamber of her thoughts. She walked to a nearby community center, drawn by a flyer for a support group. Hesitant, she slipped into the back row, heart pounding. The room was filled with faces like hers. Weary, hopeful, defiant. And that's when she saw Mackenzie for the first time. A woman with a sharp jawline and eyes that seemed to pierce through pretense. Mackenzie spoke up during the sharing circle, her voice steady. "I lost my job when my boss found out about my girlfriend. But I didn't break, I fought back." Lila felt a pull, an inexplicable draw. She's strong, she thought. Maybe I can be too. After the meeting, Lila lingered, pretending to check her phone. Mackenzie approached, a warm smile breaking through the tension. "First time here?" she asked, her tone casual yet probing. Lila nodded, words catching in her throat. "Yeah. Rough week." They talked briefly, about the weather, the group. But beneath it, Lila sensed a spark. Mackenzie's presence was magnetic, her confidence a balm to Lila's wounds. As they parted, Mackenzie handed her a card. "Call if you need to talk. No judgment." Lila pocketed it, her mind swirling. Is this hope? Or just another risk? Back in the shed, Lila stared at the card under the dim light. Calling felt like leaping off a cliff, but staying silent meant drowning in solitude. She dialed, her fingers trembling. "Hey, it's Lila from the group." Mackenzie's laugh on the other end was like sunlight piercing clouds. They talked for hours about dreams deferred, families fractured, the weight of societal stares. For the first time in weeks, Lila felt seen, not judged. But as she hung up, doubt whispered, "What if she finds out about the shed? Will she see me as pathetic?" The next day, Lila met Mackenzie at a park bench, coffee in hand. Conversation flowed easily, laced with shared vulnerabilities. Mackenzie shared her own story. Disowned at 22, scraping by until she built a life as a freelance graphic designer. "It hurts, but it shapes you," she said, her eyes locking with Lila's. Lila opened up tentatively about her parents, the house, the shed, bracing for pity. Instead, Mackenzie reached out, squeezing her hand. "That's not on you. That's their failure." The touch sent a jolt through Lila, awakening feelings she'd long suppressed. This could be something, she thought, terrified and thrilled. But as their meetings became routine, Lila's inner conflict deepened. Her parents' voices echoed in her head. "It's unnatural. You'll regret it." She questioned every glance, every laugh. Was this real or rebellion? Mackenzie pushed gently, challenging her fears. "You deserve love, Lila, not scraps." Yet the shed loomed as a reminder of the cost. One night, after a particularly intense conversation, Lila lay awake, heart racing. "If I pursue this, what else will I lose?" The question haunted her, but so did the alternative. A life half-lived. Lila's days began to orbit around Mackenzie, their coffee meetups evolving into long walks along the Puget Sound, where the salty air mingled with tentative confessions. Yet each step forward dragged her deeper into turmoil. "Am I ready for this?" she pondered, watching Mackenzie's profile against the horizon, her short hair tousled by the wind. Mackenzie's stories of past relationships, heartbreaks from partners who couldn't handle the scrutiny, mirrored Lila's fears, but Mackenzie wore her scars like armor. "I've lost friends, jobs, even family," she admitted one afternoon, her voice steady. "But hiding? That's worse than any rejection." Lila nodded, but inside a storm brewed. Her brother Ethan had started dropping by the shed unannounced, his guilt manifesting in awkward offers of food or money. "Mom and Dad are just scared," he'd say, avoiding her eyes. "Give them time." "Time?" Lila thought bitterly. "They stole my home." She confronted him once, voice trembling. "You took the house without a fight. How is that family?" Ethan's face crumpled. "I didn't want to lose them too." His words stung, exposing the fractures in their bond. She pushed him away, but the encounter left her raw, questioning if forgiveness was weakness or strength. Meanwhile, work became a battleground. Rumors spread after a coworker overheard her on the phone with Mackenzie, their laughter too intimate for just friends. The manager, a devout conservative, pulled her aside. "We have standards here. Keep your personal life personal." Lila's cheeks burned with humiliation. "Standards?" She seethed inwardly. "You mean conformity?" She bit her tongue, needing the paycheck, but the incident amplified her paranoia. Every sidelong glance felt like judgment, every whisper a condemnation. At night, in the shed's stifling confines, she dissected her choices. Should I deny it all? Go back to pretending? Mackenzie sensed the shift. During a quiet dinner at a hole-in-the-wall diner, their first real date, she confronted Lila gently. "You're pulling away. What's going on?" Lila hesitated, fork midway to her mouth. "It's everything, the family, the job. What if this costs me more than I can bear?" Mackenzie's eyes softened, but her tone was firm. "Love isn't free, Lila. But neither is denial. I've paid both prices." The words resonated, stirring a mix of admiration and envy. "She's fought her battles. Why can't I?" As their connection deepened, physical proximity brought emotional intensity. A brush of hands, a lingering hug. Each ignited sparks, but Lila wrestled with guilt. Raised in a household where morality was black and white, she questioned, "Is this sin or just who I am?" Mackenzie shared her own doubts from years ago, how therapy helped unravel the knots of internalized shame. "It's not about changing society overnight," she said. "It's about claiming your space." Inspired, Lila sought a therapist, her first session a torrent of tears and truths. "I feel like I'm betraying them," she confessed. The therapist nodded. "Or are they betraying you?" But progress was halted by a family confrontation. Her mother called, voice laced with false concern. "Come home for dinner. We miss you." Lila's heart leaped, then sank. Is this reconciliation? She agreed, arriving at the house, now Ethan's, with Mackenzie's encouragement ringing in her ears. Stand your ground. The table was set as if nothing had changed, but tension crackled like static. Her father wasted no time. We've prayed for you. This phase, it's not too late to end it. Lila's stomach twisted. It's not a phase, Dad. It's me. The argument escalated, voices rising. Her mother interjected. Think of the neighbors, the church. You're embarrassing us. Ethan stayed silent, eyes on his plate. Lila felt isolated, the weight of their disapproval crushing. Why fight when they won't listen? But then she thought of Mackenzie, of the life she craved. If you can't accept me, then this is goodbye. She stormed out, heart pounding, the door slamming a final punctuation. In the shed she collapsed, sobbing. Did I just sever the last tie? Mackenzie arrived soon after, having received Lila's frantic text. She held her, whispering assurances. You were brave. Their closeness that night was a turning point. Not in passion but in trust. Lila shared her deepest fears. Abandonment, failure, the moral quandary of defying her upbringing. Mackenzie listened, then shared her own regret. Cutting off a sibling who later reached out too late. Don't burn every bridge, she advised. But don't cross ones that lead to pain. The advice lingered as Lila navigated societal pressures. At a pride event Mackenzie invited her to, Lila felt exposed amid the crowds, banners waving defiantly. Strangers' stares reminded her of the world's cruelty. Hate crimes in the news, politicians railing against agendas. Is love worth the target on my back? She wondered, gripping Mackenzie's hand tighter. A heckler shouted slurs from the sidelines and Lila flinched, but Mackenzie stood firm, pulling her closer. We exist. That's our power. Yet the event sparked a chain reaction. Photos surfaced online tagging Lila. Her co-worker saw them, escalating whispers to outright hostility. The manager called her in again. This reflects poorly on us. Lila's temper flared. My life isn't your business. But the warning was clear. Shape up or ship out. That night she confided in Mackenzie. I'm scared of losing everything. Mackenzie's response was a quiet vow. You won't lose me. But Lila's mind raced with what-ifs, the price of authenticity mounting. How much more can I pay? The fallout from the Pride event rippled through Lila's life like aftershocks. Her job hung by a thread. The manager's glares a constant reminder of her precarious position. One wrong move and I'm out, she thought, pouring lattes with forced smiles. Customers who once chatted now averted eyes, as if her identity were contagious. The isolation fed her doubts. Was coming out a mistake? Mackenzie urged resilience. Fight it. File a complaint. But Lila hesitated, fearing escalation. What if it backfires? I need this job. Their debates grew heated, exposing cracks in their budding relationship. At home, if the shed could be called that, Lila received an unexpected visit from Ethan. He stood awkwardly in the doorway, rain dripping from his coat. I saw the photos. Mom's furious. Lila's defenses rose. Good for her. But Ethan pressed. She's talking about cutting you off completely. No more contact. The words pierced like knives. Completely? She echoed inwardly. Despite everything, the thought of total severance terrified her. Ethan offered an olive branch. Come talk to them. Pretend for a bit. Ease the tension. The suggestion ignited rage. Pretend? That's what got me here. She slammed the door but regret followed. Is compromise betrayal or survival? Mackenzie's perspective clashed with Lila's indecision. Over a tense lunch, she argued. Hiding reinforces their bigotry. You've got to choose, you or them. Lila snapped back. Easy for you to say. You've already lost your family. The words hung heavy, wounding Mackenzie. Her eyes flashed hurt. I chose mes elfes. It wasn't easy. They parted in silence, the rift widening. Lila spent the night alone, dissecting the argument. Am I pushing her away to protect myself? Or because I'm not ready? Society's undercurrents amplified the strain. News of anti-LGBT legislation in nearby states flooded Lila's feed, stoking paranoia. What if it's not safe here anymore? She fretted, scrolling endlessly. A church acquaintance messaged her. Praying for your soul. The condescension fueled her anger, but also self-doubt. Raised on sermons of sin, she questioned her morality. Am I wrong? Is this a test? Therapy sessions became lifelines where she unpacked the layers. Parental rejection as projection, societal norms as chains. Your worth isn't their approval, the therapist said. But internalizing it was war. Reconciliation with Mackenzie came slowly. She called first, voice soft. I get it. Family's complicated. They met at their park bench, apologies flowing. I don't want to lose you, Lila admitted. Mackenzie nodded. Then don't let fear win. Their bond strengthened but challenges mounted. Lila's parents escalated, sending a letter via Ethan. Repent or be forgotten. The ultimatum forced a decision. Repent? She thought, crumpling the paper. That's not love. She confided in Mackenzie, who suggested therapy for the family. Maybe a neutral ground. Lila laughed bitterly. They'd never. But desperation pushed her. She arranged a meeting at a neutral cafe, heart hammering. Her parents arrived stiffly, her mother clutching a Bible. We've missed you, her father said flatly. Lila dove in. Then accept me as I am. The discussion devolved quickly. Accusations of influence, pleas for normalcy. Her mother cried. We raised you better. Lila's resolve cracked under the emotional barrage. Better? According to who? Ethan mediated weakly, but the gap was chasmic. She left defeated, questioning if bridges could ever be rebuilt. Mackenzie waited at the shed, ready with comfort. You tried. That's more than they deserve. But Lila's mind swirled with Mouthwan Dowduk. Was cutting ties righteous or vengeful? The night deepened their intimacy through conversation, Mackenzie sharing a betrayal from her past, a friend who outed her for personal gain. Trust is fragile, she said. Lila nodded, her own wounds fresh. Who can I trust now? Work tensions peaked when the manager demoted her to backroom duties. Customer complaints, he claimed, but Lila knew better. Humiliated, she filed a discrimination report anonymously, heart racing. This could end me, she thought. Mackenzie supported her. It's the right fight. But the wait for response was agony, amplifying her anxiety. Socially, friends drifted, invites ceased, texts went unanswered. Am I toxic now? The losses accumulated, each a toll on her spirit. In a moment of vulnerability, Lila proposed they move in together. Mackenzie's apartment a haven. It's fast, but I need out of here. Mackenzie hesitated. Are you sure? Not just escaping. The question stung, forcing introspection. Am I using her? Ultimately, she agreed, and the move marked a turning point. Packing the shed felt liberating, but leaving evoked mixed emotions. This was my prison, but also my awakening. Settling into Mackenzie's space brought joy amid chaos. Shared routines, cooking, laughing, nurtured their love. Yet external pressures intruded. A family friend confronted Lila at the grocery store. Your parents are heartbroken. Fix this. The encounter rattled her, reigniting guilt. Am I the villain? Mackenzie countered. No. They're choosing hate. But the seed of doubt grew, setting the stage for greater conflict. Living with Mackenzie transformed Lila's world. The apartment a sanctuary of warmth against the external storm. Yet the move invited scrutiny. Neighbors whispered, mail from her parents arrived unopened. They know, she thought, staring at an envelope marked urgent. Inside a plea. Come back. We'll help you change. The words ignited fury. Change? Like I'm defective. She tore it up, but the act didn't erase the ache. Mackenzie watched, concern etching her features. Don't let them in your head. But they already were, fueling nightmares of abandonment. The discrimination claim at work backfired initially. The manager retaliated with reduced hours. Prove it's bias, he sneered. Lila's savings dwindled, pressuring their relationship. I feel like a burden, she confessed one night, curled on the couch. Mackenzie reassured. We're in this together. But tension simmered. Mackenzie's freelance gigs fluctuated, adding financial strain. Arguments erupted over money, masking deeper fears. You're distant, Mackenzie accused. Lila shot back. I'm fighting to survive. Inwardly, she questioned. Is this love or a crutch? A betrayal struck from an unexpected quarter. Ethan, under parental pressure, leaked Lila's address to them. They showed up unannounced, her father pounding on the door. "We need to talk alone." Mackenzie stood firm. "She's not alone." The confrontation was explosive. Her mother wailed. "This woman is corrupting you." Lila defended. "No, she's saving me." But the accusations flew, of immorality, of destroying the family. Ethan hovered in the background, apologetic yet complicit. "I thought it'd help." Lila's heart shattered. "My own brother traitor." She banished them, but the damage lingered. In the aftermath, Lila spiraled. How deep does this betrayal go? Therapy intensified, unpacking sibling rivalry laced with homophobia. "He chose them over you," the therapist noted. Lila nodded, tears flowing. Mackenzie offered solace, but her own patience wore thin. "You can't keep punishing yourself." A heated exchange followed. "Easy for you, you're out and proud." Mackenzie's retort. "I paid for it. Lost everything." The fight ended in silence, both retreating to corners of the apartment. "Am I sabotaging us?" Lila wondered, staring at the ceiling. Societal backlash escalated. Online trolls targeted Lila after a local news story on workplace discrimination mentioned her case vaguely. Hate messages flooded. "Freak." "Sinner." The anonymity emboldened cruelty, eroding her confidence. "Why fight when the world hates me?" Mackenzie suggested going public. "Share your story. Empower others." Lila resisted. "It'll make it worse." But pressure built, culminating in a decision to speak at a rally. Heart-pounding, she took the mic. "I lost my home because of who I love. But I won't lose myself." Applause roared, but so did boos. The exposure was double-edged, support poured in, but threats too. The rally's aftermath brought a moral crossroads. Her parents sued for emotional distress, claiming Lila's lifestyle harmed their reputation. The absurdity stung. They're the victims? Ethan testified reluctantly, admitting his role. The courtroom was a battlefield. Lila's lawyer dismantling their bigotry. "This is discrimination," she argued. Lila testified, voice steady. "I just want to live." The judge ruled in her favor, but victory felt hollow. "What did it cost my soul?" Mackenzie celebrated with her, but strains showed. "You're changing," she said softly. Lila admitted. "Fighting exhausts me." A deeper betrayal loomed. Mackenzie confessed a past affair during a low point in her life, triggered by similar pressures. "I was weak." Lila reeled. "Even she has secrets?" Trust fractured. "How can I believe in us?" The argument peaked. "We're both damaged," Mackenzie pleaded. Lila stormed out, seeking solace in the park. Is love always this painful? Reconciliation demanded sacrifice. Lila confronted Ethan privately. "Why betray me?" He broke down. "I was scared of losing them." Understanding dawned. Fear bound them all. She forgave tentatively. "But choose better next time." The act lightened her burden, but Mackenzie's revelation lingered. They talked for hours, rebuilding. "We learn from mistakes." Yet doubt persisted. Can we survive more? As tensions eased, a new challenge arose. Mackenzie's job offer in another city forced a choice. Move or separate. "It's a fresh start," she urged. Lila wavered. "What about my fight here?" The decision weighed heavy, encapsulating their journey. Love versus self-preservation. Do I follow her or stand alone? The question echoed as high stakes loomed. The job offer hung over them like a storm cloud, Mackenzie's excitement clashing with Lila's hesitation. "San Francisco, better opportunities, accepting community," she pitched, eyes alight. Lila paced the apartment, mind churning. "Leave everything? My roots, my battles?" But staying meant stagnation, the shed's shadow still haunting her dreams. "What if we go and it falls apart?" she voiced. Mackenzie grasped her hands. "What if it doesn't?" The push-pull mirrored their entire relationship. Risk versus reward. Internal conflict raged. Lila revisited therapy. "Moving feels like running." The therapist probed. "Or evolving?" Memories flooded. The initial rejection, the shed's loneliness, the courtroom victories. "I've paid dearly," she reflected. Forgiving Ethan had opened doors. He now texted supportively, a fragile bridge. But her parents remained distant, their silence a wound. "Do I owe them loyalty?" Society's progress felt illusory. Bills passing but hearts unchanged. Mackenzie's impatience grew. Decide, Lila. I can't wait forever. The ultimatum stung, echoing parental demands. An argument ensued. You're forcing me, Lila accused. Mackenzie countered. No, life's forcing us. Hurt, Lila withdrew, questioning commitment. Is this love or convenience? A night apart clarified. Solitude amplified her longing. She returned apologetic. I'm scared. Mackenzie softened. Me too. But together. The turning point came via an unexpected ally. A former coworker, inspired by Lila's story, reached out. You gave me courage to come out. The message ignited purpose. My pain helped someone. It shifted her perspective. Moving wasn't defeat, but expansion. She confided in Ethan. I'm considering it. He encouraged. Go. Rebuild. The endorsement from a once betrayer sealed her resolve. Forgiveness pays dividends. Packing symbolized closure. Donating shed remnants felt cathartic, releasing grudges. Yet doubts lingered. What if San Francisco rejects me too? Mackenzie reassured. We'll face it. Their drive south was a journey of revelations. Shared stories, laughter, tears. Lila admitted. I almost chose fear. Mackenzie smiled. But you chose us. Arrival brought fresh challenges. The city's vibrancy contrasted Seattle's gloom. But job hunts tested patience. Lila landed a position at an inclusive cafe, thriving. Socially, they built a circle, friends who celebrated them. But news from home intruded. Her parents' health declined, Ethan pleading for a visit. Go back? The moral dilemma resurfaced. Duty versus self-care. They don't deserve you, Mackenzie argued. Lila wavered. But they're family. The visit was a powder keg. At the hospital, her mother whispered. We were wrong. Her father's nod confirmed. Tears flowed, apologies tentative. We feared losing you, he admitted. Lila's heart softened. You did anyway. Reconciliation began slowly, boundaries set. Ethan beamed. Finally. But Lila pondered the cost, years of pain for this moment. Was it worth it? Back in San Francisco, their life stabilized. Mackenzie's career soared. Lila pursued writing about her experiences. Their love deepened through trials, a testament to resilience. Yet reflections haunted. Betrayals, sacrifices, awakenings. Lila journaled. We pay prices for truth but gain freedom. In quiet moments, she questioned society's progress. Incremental yet fraught. Friends debated over dinners. Acceptance versus tolerance. Lila realized her story wasn't unique, but a thread in a larger tapestry. Mackenzie's unwavering support anchored her. Their bond forged in fire. As they walked hand in hand through the city, Lila felt transformed. Not unbroken but whole. The journey's scars reminded her of growth. But one query lingered, sparking endless debate. Was forgiving her family an act of strength, or a compromise of her principles?